So when I lived in Illinois, I had very few friends for about the 10 years I lived there. Like I said, I haven't been affiliated with any groups in like 10 years. There's no reason why I should be under investigation or anything. I don't do anything wrong. I don't break any laws. I'm not a drug addict. Um, but my friend Ryan, who also was a skinhead in Illinois, also unaffiliated with any groups, um, one day he called me and said, "I'm out." I said, out of what? You know, we're not in anything. We're not affiliated with anything. We just are, you know, we're not in anything. He called. He said, "I'm out." I'm like, "Out of what?" He said, "I'm out." He said it again, and I said, "Okay. Can I have like your skinhead CDs and your punk CDs and some of your T-shirts? Then I'll buy them off you." He said, "I threw them in the dumpster." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man? What's going on?" He goes, "Cole, you're a real loyal motherfucker." I was like, "Okay," and then he hung up the phone, never to be heard from again. And he was a good friend. And then also an older man who lived in my apartment building, who I used to drink beers with. Um, I was at his house, once a week to drink beers over the 10 years I lived there, and he would say things like powers of the air and act like a schizophrenic or something. I think he was, but he would say powers of the air, and he would say magnets are good. I gave him a Hitler Youth knife, and he taped magnets to it, large magnets, and I asked him why. He said magnets are good. He also would have a television on in his house on a static channel pointed at the wall, and he would say, "You don't watch the TV watches you." And he would say a lot of weird things, hinting about what was happening to me, but not directly telling me. But I don't think that he really knew. I think they were making him say these things to me, honestly. Because one day, before the hacking got really bad and I figured out what was going on, when they were deleting my operating system, hijacking my Steam account, hijacking my Facebook, hijacking my emails and all that. Right before that happened, Ryan called me and said that and stopped talking to me. Also, this older man that I drank beer with that said all this, John, he also said he couldn't talk to me anymore. One day, he said he's moving out of the town because of it. One day he was banging on my door, and because of my hip replacements and all these plates and stuff in my legs, it takes me a while to get to the door. I have a hard time walking. He was banging on my door, screaming, "Cole, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something." By the time I got to the door and opened it up, he was running down the stairs, screaming, "I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you." So both Ryan and John, somebody came to them and said something to them. What I think happened is a government entity came to them and said, "Cole is under investigation," or something like that. But that is right when the hacking started and they started hijacking all my communications. That is when I figured out I was being gang stalked, and it happened the worst. That is when the directed energy weapons became the worst. That was literally the worst couple months of my life. That is right before I moved to Florida, moved back to Illinois, then went to Texas, and then went to New Jersey, and then was put in a psych ward for 3 months. I'm not sure what they were told I'm not sure who contacted them, but that is when I began to discover exactly what was going on, as far as being a targeted individual. But people who are not perpetrators, I am not allowed to be friends with, because somebody contacts them and makes it so I can't be friends with them. And it's very sad, because I don't have any friends at this point, really. I have very few people who I talk to, and the people who I talk to on the internet or on the phone live in other states, and they are also targets as well. I'm pretty isolated, so it's pretty good to be able to make these YouTube videos and share this with the world. If this is getting out to any other targeted individuals, I'm not sure. It seems like in my comment sections, it's just perpetrators who are commenting. Maybe eventually I'll have some good subscribers. Thank you for your time.